everyone, so I've been using a menstrual cup for about 4 years now, so I thought I would do a video to share some of my tips and tricks on how to use a menstrual cup. If you're after specific menstrual cup folds, then you can check out the link in the description below where I've got another video demonstrating specific menstrual cup folds. Okay, so menstrual cups, why should I buy one? When I first bought my menstrual cup, the main reason that I bought it was to save the money that I was then spending on disposables like pads and tampons. The other reason being that it was good for the environment. Both these reasons still hold true, but I think the main benefit for me in buying my cup was just how comfortable it was and such a mess-free experience. I also have a number of friends who have used their cup during sex and no complaints from them or their partner, so if that's what floats your boat, go for it. So I've never really been someone who could use tampons a lot. I know a lot of people use tampons and can have one in there, take it out, put a clean one back in, but I could just never wear them back to back. I just didn't find it comfortable. Whereas with a cup, I'm really happy to, have it in there, remove it in the shower, rinse it out, and then chuck it back in. What do you mean, chuck it back in? So with a menstrual cup, there's a number of different folds that you can do. I personally prefer the punch down fold. So you punch down and you go in like that. So imagine you're punching down and that creates a narrow tip for insertion. So this end will then be used to insert it in. I will then let go of my finger and that will open up inside. So 2 tips to make it easier to insert it. 1, breathe out as you insert it in. So just breathing out, I think, helps just have everything calm and open. Another tip is just having your mouth and lips loose. So this is a common tip for childbirth, but I think is as effective for inserting a cup, is if your mouth is loose and your, this sphincter is open, your other sphincters will open up. So keep your mouth and jaw loose and you'll find that your whole body will open up. So when I am inserting it, I'll usually just squat a little bit and get into a high squat. Or alternatively, you could put one leg on top of the toilet or on top of the bathtub edge to kind of get that high lunge shape to be able to insert it a bit more easily. There are also a number of different folds that you can do, whatever works for you. As I said, check out my other video for other types of folds. For me, I prefer the punch down. Okay, so you've got your menstrual cup in, now what? So once it's in, you may want to just do a bit of a dance and, shake your legs around. Or what I do is actually just grab my bum and thighs and just shake them and go into a bit of a squat. And you might actually feel your cup open up and whack your vagina walls. If you don't feel it open up, what you can do is just pop a finger in between the cup and your vagina walls and press against the outside of the wall. So if I had my cup and that's my vagina around it, I put my finger and press against the outside, and if your cup was stuck like this, it might go boom and open up. Yeah? And you can kind of just feel that around the ridge to make sure that it is open. So the cup stays in place with suction. So it's really important to make sure that your cup has opened up so that it's there ready under your cervix to collect any menstrual blood and other wonderful things that we produce. You could also kind of do some Kegels to test if you can feel the cup. The great thing about using a cup is you can wear it when you're running, dancing, swimming, doing any sport, sleeping. You can really wear it all the time. I found it a lifesaver during exams when I really wanted a mess-free, stress-free experience. More so than, pads or tampons or anything where I just feel a bit more uncomfortable. Period underwear is another great option, but yeah, my cup has definitely been a lifesaver. Okay, so now 6 to 8 hours have passed and you've had your cup inside you and you're like, oh Jesus, I think I need to remove it and dump the contents, because I think it might almost be full. So what do you do? Some tips from me. One, cut and file your nails. This is way too long. You don't want this finger to be going inside you to grab your cup and pinch that soft, tender flesh inside you. Not fun. Secondly, do not bear down. So by bearing down, I mean pushing your cup out of your vagina by squeezing your vaginal muscles and pushing like you're trying to push out a baby. So I've seen a number of people suggesting that you should bear down to push it out, but I've also seen some articles quoting or referencing a gynecologist saying do not bear down, as it could increase your risks in the long term of possibly having a prolapse, which I personally do not want. What you should be doing is just putting a finger in between your cup and your vagina and kind of just pushing in to break the seal, and then you can use that finger to flick your cup out and just dump the contents into the toilet or in the shower. If it's too tricky to reach up and break the seal, depending on the height of your cervix, you might find this a bit more difficult. You can grab the stem of the cup and then just tug gently, and when it gets to a point where you can reach it, then put your finger in, break the seal and tip it out. So use the stem to tug it backwards and forwards until it's at a height that's reachable for you. For me, the only position in which I can reach in to break the seal is if I get into a really low squat. So this has really reduced the practicality of using a cup for me, because the only place I can get into that position is in the shower, not over a toilet. So every time I need to remove my cup, I usually need to get in the shower, which is why I now only use my cup for longer periods of time, pun intended, when I'm out and about. And other than that, when I'm at home, or if I've just got 3 to 4 hours when I need to between things when I can change my cup, then I'll use my disc instead. You can check out my video on the Fleur Menstrual Disc review in the links below. Another reason to make sure you break the seal if a prolapse is not enough is if you have an IUD. So there have been stories of the suction from the cup, if you just pull on the stem, actually pulling out the IUD with it. So I have a copper IUD and I really don't want it coming out with my cup. So I want to make sure I break the seal to pull that cup out. I have talked to my gynecologist about this and he's not concerned. So you don't need to worry. I'm just extremely cautious. So I make sure I don't bear down at all and I get into a really low squat to be able to remove my cup without bearing down. So now you've got your cup out and it's a bloody mess and you're like, what do I do with this now? So potentially this is the first time you've been confronted with how much blood your cup collects and how much blood your body produces in 8 hours. If you've been using pads and tampons before, it can be a bit overwhelming. Some people like to collect their menstrual blood and then use it in their garden. I haven't tried this myself, so if that's something you want to have a go, then let me know if you get like a bumper crop of spinach or something. Maybe I should give it a go as well. What you can do is rinse your cup in the sink, and if you're in a public toilet and maybe don't have access to water in a sink, you could just give it a wipe with toilet paper or wet wipes and then put it back in. Once your cycle is over, remember to boil your cup and sterilize it. Keep an eye on it, make sure you don't melt it, and then once it's done, you can put it away for the next month. Happy bleeding!